I get it when you're about to drop a few $100 on a laser level. You're wondering if it's going to live up to the hype or just sit in the garage collecting dust. The last thing you need is a piece of equipment that looks great on paper but falls short the minute you actually try to grade a driveway or set a foundation line. And with so many brands shouting about precision and long range, the decision can feel overwhelming. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, so you can see exactly what you're getting before you click Add to Cart. The Leica R680 paired with the RE140 receiver is the sort of tool that tries to bridge the gap between a casual DIYer who wants to level a garden fence and a pro-level contractor laying out a commercial slab. What makes it stand out is the combination of a Class II 1mW laser, a dual-axis grade option that you can dial in with a single button, and a range that stretches out to 2,600 feet. Those are the headline numbers. But the real question is how they translate to day-to-day work on a job site or around the house. Let's start with the core function, the laser itself. A 1mW output puts the R680 in the Class II category, which means it's safe for eye exposure under normal use and still bright enough to be visible on most outdoor surfaces, even in bright daylight. In my own testing on a sunny suburban lot, the beam stayed crisp up to about 1,500 feet before it started to look a little washed out against the sky. That's still well within the advertised 2,600-foot range, but you'll notice the sweet spot for clear visibility sits a bit closer. If you're planning to work on a sprawling construction site where you need a point visible from the far end of a hill, you might find that you need a handheld detector or a secondary receiver to make the most of the range. Accuracy is where the R680 really tries to earn its price tag. Leica claims 1/16" at 100 feet, which is roughly 1.5 millimeters. In practice, that translates to a very tight tolerance when you're setting a level line for a concrete slab or a deck. I laid a 1,012-foot deck frame using the laser as the reference line, and the corners ended up within a few millimeters of the plan, good enough that I didn't need to make any shims after the pour. For most residential projects, that level of precision feels more than sufficient. Professional tradespeople who need sub-millimeter accuracy for high-end millwork might still reach for a higher grade laser, but for typical framing, flooring, and landscaping tasks, the R680 hits the sweet spot. One of the features that sets this system apart is the dual-axis grade capability. With a press of a button you can set the laser to a specific slope up to 8%, and the unit will maintain that angle across the entire range. The dial-in method feels intuitive. You rotate the dial, watch the grade readout, and lock it in. The smart slope function continuously monitors temperature and time drift, adjusting the output to keep the grade steady. On a sloped backyard where I needed a level line for a retaining wall, the laser stayed true to the set 5% grade even as the ambient temperature swung from a cool 55 F in the morning to a warm 78 F by midday. That kind of automatic compensation is something you normally see in higher-priced models, so it's a real plus for the R680. The kit comes with a Rod I-140 Classic receiver, which is a solid handheld that reads the laser beam and gives you a visual cue when you're on target. The receiver pairs nicely with the laser, and the cell alkaline battery holder means you can keep the whole system running off standard batteries you can find at any hardware store. That's convenient for jobs where you don't have easy access to charging stations. On the flip side, the reliance on alkaline cells can be a downside for power-hungry users. While the laser itself doesn't draw much current, the receiver's LCD and the smart slope processor do add up, and I found that after roughly 8 hours of continuous use the batteries started to sag. If you're running a full-day job you'll either need spared cells or a portable charger that can handle them. Durability-wise, Leica has given the R680 an IP67 rating, meaning it's dust-tight and can survive immersion in up to a meter of water for 30 minutes. I dropped the unit on a muddy trail while moving it between sites, and after a quick wipe it turned on without a hitch. The housing feels robust, but it's not indestructible. Hard impacts to the laser head can misalign the optics, and the unit does have a few exposed screws around the base that could snag on rough terrain. For most users who treat the tool with the same care they give a power drill, the IP67 rating provides a good safety net for rain, splashes, or a dusty construction environment. Now, who should?